everyone, welcome to our pre-calculus lesson 12. In this lesson, we will discuss how to find out the average rate of change for a function, and in this case actually we'll discuss about the curve, and then we'll try to find out the secant line equation. And we have one more extra thing, which is how to find out the absolute maximum and absolute minimum from the given graphs. So these are our agenda. We have some practice homework also review, which will come in at the end of the slides. Then average rate of change, this will be a review. Secant line, how to find, we will show. Then practice on average rate of change and secant line, then finding absolute maximum and minimum, and practice from absolute maximum and minimum. So this is our today's plan actually. Let's start it. First of all, this is the review from the slope. You know, the slope means change in y divided by change in x, which is here actually. You can see change in y divided by change in x. Graphically, if you look, change in y over change in x, what does it mean? In fact, at two different points, for suppose x1 is a here, then x2 is b here. At some point, x value is a and x value is b. In this point, x value is b. In this point, x value is a. y1 is here and y2 is here. They are the points. F of a, this equals to y1. F of b, this equals to y2. We are supposing this way because if you do the calculation in the function, if you put the value of b, then you will get y2. This is how in the graph we work. In the graph, if you put the x value, you get the y value. That's it. In fact, symbolically, it means this. And then our regular formula y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, this is the formula. And this y2, y1, they are actually our f of, see this point is y1 and it comes from f of a. So we can actually replace them as f of a and y2 as f of b. You can say, sir, why we have to replace it? Basically, we do not have to. They mean the same thing. If they mean this, then they are like this. Exactly, actually, they mean this in the real situation. Y2 means f of b, y1 means f of a. Of course, you can replace them by different letters. You can say b, c, d, e, f, some letter. But this y1 always comes this way. If we put the x value for this point, if we put the x value of this point, then we will get the y value of this point, which we are calling as y1. Here, if we put the x value of this point, which is b here, then we will get the y value of this point, which is y2 here we are saying. My point here is we can actually name them in this way and that way, but ultimately our discussion is not changing or going anywhere. Ultimately our formula is still y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 for finding the slope. Now we are saying that this y2 actually means function of b and y1 actually means function of a. Now, what about if it is a curve? Then what will happen? Suppose in this curve, we are taking two different points, one point here and one point here, and we are interested to find out the slope of this, slope of a line which will connect this point and this point. We are interested to find it out. Slope of this point, and we will try to find out the equation of this line. And interestingly, this is actually the secant line. So it's not like a very complicated something. Don't get scared like, okay, so what is secant line? Secant line is basically the line that cuts the curve at two distinct points. Okay, this secant word actually comes from a Greek word sikear, kind of, which means to cut or to cut off. To cut, that means secant. That means the two points which will cut some curve, and if we join that 2 points and find some equation of line that connects that 2 points, will be the secant line. Now, if we have these 2 points, actually then we can find out anything we want. We can find out the slope between these 2 points. We can find out the equation of the line between these 2 points, which is our task here. and the formula is formula is the same thing. Formula is same thing. Here is an example of this concept. This concept example is here, and we will do the full math here so that you get a clear idea how to do x square. By the way, secant line actually you can try to find out for a straight line also if you want, but for curve it make more sense. So this is the question: g of x equal to x square plus 1. Find out the average rate of change from -1 to 2 and find an equation of the secant line containing -1 g of -1 2 g of 2. How can we find it out? Okay, how can we find it out? Let's try it. And steps we have written here steps. First find g of -1 and g of 2 for this and this. First we will find out g of -1 and g of 2. Then we will write 2 points from step 1. This is the step 1. This is the step 1. We will find out 2 points from step 1. So let's find it out. Let's find it out. G of -1 means here we have to put -1 in the function. The line is too thick. So g of -1 equal to what? This equals to put -1 in the x. So -1 whole square plus 1 equals to what? -1 whole square means 1. So basically this is 1 plus 1 equals to 2. Then we have to find out g of 2. Same way. Similarly, we will try to find out g of 2. I will not show the calculation. I think this is super easy. 2 square means 4. 4 plus 1 equal to 5. Or let me show you actually, if anyone is confused. Okay, let me show. So 2 square plus 1 equals to 5. So we have found g of -1 and g of 2. Now write 2 points from step 1. This is the step 1. We will write 2 points. This will not be written anywhere. I'm just we have written it so that you know how to find out them. Because to find out the average rate of change. By the way, average rate of change means slope. Slope gradient average rate of change. Same word. Same. Yes. Average rate of change. This means slope or gradient. This means this. Now write 2 points. How can you write 2 points? See, here if you put -1, you get 2. In this question, in this given function, if we put -1, answer is 2. What does it mean? It means this is a point, and this point is if the x value is -1, y value is 2. Isn't it? If x value is -1, then ultimately answer is 2. That means what? If x value is -1, y value is 2. Similarly, if x value is 2, y value is 5. If x value is 2, y value is 5. Y value means the value of the entire function. You know, g of x means y. F of x, g of x, it means y. Now see, actually the math became now like super easy, because now you have 2 points. Now a number and b number became very easy. How? A number, now we can this is slope, this is a number. Just you will find out, we will try to find out the slope to find out the answer of a number. And how can we find out slope? y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So y2 is 5 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1. So this comes 3 divided by 3. In this case, answer is 1. In your other maths, it may come some other numbers. Don't worry about if some other number comes, but the process is same. So this is the average rate. 1 is the average rate of change for these 2 points. Now find an equation of the secant line containing these 2 points. B number. Now see, g of minus 1, basically g of minus 1 means 2. This is 2, because see, g of minus 1 means 2, so we already have them. And g of 2 means 5. This is 2, g of 2 means 5. So that means in the b number they are actually talking about these 2 points, and we have done the calculation actually for them, so we know that these 2 points is exactly same, these 2 points. And the equation of secant line means equation of the straight line that connects these 2 points. So we'll just try to find out the equation of the line. And what is the formula for that? Formula is y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. So y minus y1. So let's suppose this is x1 y1. Y minus y1 means 2 equals to m into, so m already we know, 1, x minus x1 minus 1. So y minus 2 equals to, this will be x plus 1. If we do the calculation, because 1 into anything equal to that thing, then x minus plus. So ultimately what we have here is y equals to x, this minus 2 goes to the other side, it becomes plus 2, or you can add plus 2 in the both side, then this minus 2 plus 2 will be cancelled out. Both ways is fine, it is not a problem. So 1, then this plus 2 equal to total 3. And this is the equation of the secant line. This is the equation of the secant line. So how can we find it out? Once again, let's repeat. First of all, we will put minus 1 in the question and 2 in the question. We will do the calculation. We will get 2 points. Then for average rate of change, we will find out the slope, because average rate of change means slope or gradient. They are the same thing. Then find the equation of the line that contains these 2 points. We already have these 2 points. We will find out the equation of the line that connects these 2 points. Okay. So this is how we can deal with this kind of problem. Alright. So this is the practice. We will try to solve some maths from here in the class. This is related to, you can also practice it in advance if you want. That's better actually if you can do that. Finding the absolute maximum and absolute minimum if they exist. We will try to find out. In our previous class actually discussed about how to find out the local maximum and local minimum. In this section we have absolute maximum and absolute minimum. What is the difference between them? Absolute maximum, local maximum, what is the difference between them? The difference is, suppose in a graph, if we have something like this arrow sign in the both side, in that case we can actually only find local minimum and local maximum if arrow sign is given. If arrow sign is not given, some point, closed point is given, this side is closed, this side is closed, then we can find out absolute maximum and absolute minimum, because at that time we know the end of the graph, ending of the graph we know, that's why we can find it out. Okay, so this is the difference. If there is arrow sign, it means that we do not know where the graph will end, that's why we cannot find out absolute maximum is where or absolute minimum is where, we do not know. That's the problem for arrow sign. So if the arrow sign is given in the graph, we only know local max, local min. And if the ending we know in somewhere, some part, then we can find out absolute max and absolute minimum. So let me answer this question. What will be the answer for ordinate number? What is the absolute minimum and maximum? Now see, we know that this side the end we know. So this is the end. This is the end. That means this side the graph will not go anywhere. This is the end. So we already know the absolute minimum is this point. This is the lowest point in this entire graph. Okay. And it looks like this is the highest point of this graph, but unfortunately the graph actually, not unfortunately, evidently the graph is actually going forever in the up direction. So what is the highest point? We do not know. To be absolute maximum, it has to be some highest point for sure. but we do not know what is that highest point. This 2 comma 3 is not highest point in this graph, but this 0 comma 0 is the lowest point in this graph. We know for sure because in the graph there is no other points lower than this point. So this is the absolutely minimum point. Okay, so absolute minimum minimum is f of 0 equal to 0. Why we are writing it this way now? So that we combine all of the answer. Or we can say that absolute minimum is at 0 and value of the absolute minimum is also 0. Okay. And absolute max, what is absolute maximum here? And absolute max is none. There is no absolute max. We do not know where the graph will end. So we do not know that. You can say, sir, infinity. Infinity we will not consider. We do not, because that's not a point. Infinity is not a point, by the way. Infinity is not a point. Because if you are interested, there are some interesting video about the infinity. Why infinity is not a point? Why infinity is not a number? In the YouTube, you can search number file, NUMBER PHI number file. This is a YouTube channel, and there are a lot of very good videos on infinity. They discuss infinity there, and the discussion is done by some world-class professor, big university professor and mathematician. They are discussing about the infinity. If you are interested, you can watch them for your higher for gaining more advanced knowledge on these topics. Okay. Now in this figure, what is in this figure? What is the absolute max? Absolute minimum first. Okay, let's write minimum. So absolute minimum. See, in this picture we have the opposite thing. We do not know what is the absolute minimum here, because the graph is going down. So we do not know absolute minimum is what. We do not know that. We know this is infinity, but that's not a point. That's why you cannot write it. We will write none. Then absolute max. Now you think about it. What will be the absolute max in this graph? And then match it with my answer. What will be the absolute max in this graph? See, is this absolute max? This is in the one side. Some of you may think that this is the absolute max, but actually see, I think most of you or everyone should come to this decision. This is the highest point on the graph. Go to the high, and this is the highest point on the graph. 2, 4. So absolute max is here, and we will write it how? How can we write it? F of 2 equals to 4. First value is f of, then y is the answer. This is the absolute max. This value is the absolute max. This value is the absolute max in the graph because this is the highest point on the graph. Now this point, 51 number. Oh my god, 51 number graph is very interesting. 51 number graph is very interesting. What is absolute max and absolute minimum in this graph? You see, this graph is quite interesting because 51 number, we know that this is the lowest point in the graph, and we know that this is the highest point in the graph. This 3,2 is the highest point in the graph. But there is a very ugly trick played here. Very ugly. What is that? This is the highest point, but you see, this point is not dark. It is white point. Actually, this is a hole in the graph. That means there is no point there. So this is There is no point actually here. You see, this is white color point. This is dark color point. That means there is a point. Although we can see that this point is 3,2, but there is no point there. This hole means that hole means the graph is broken there. The graph is broken there. There is a point at which there is no graph. So you will be surprised actually. Although we know that this is the point, this should be the point of our absolute. This is max. This is the minimum. This should be the point for our absolute minimum. This is also whole. Yeah, that means there is no point here. So we'll write none. None. Why? Because we do not know. This point should be the answer, but this is a whole. So that means this is not the answer. That's why none. And absolute max. Absolute max is also same. This is also we do not know. We do not know means we know that this should be our answer, but this is a whole. So we cannot include it. Whole means we should not include that point in our calculation or in our solution. We should not include it. That means whole. 52 number is same also. I think you can see directly. There is no absolute minimum. There is no absolute maximum. Just to give you a little hint about what about a point very close to 1,3. Can you imagine a point? Can you give me a point which is very close to, or which is before this 1,3 and or after this 1,3? Can anyone think about a point, a value which is just before 1,3 or just after 1,3? Can anyone give that point for precise, accurate that value, that decimal value? Think about it. Let me tell you the answer, because if it were a class, then we would have done some discussion on this. The answer is actually we cannot give, because some point before this, maybe this is 0.099999999. The more you go 99999, the more you say you are going closer and closer and closer to this point, but it will never stop. Do you understand? That's why you cannot say that point. Or after this 1,3, if you go some point, then that will be 1.0000000. It will never stop. 001. No, this is not the lowest. You can go more. You can go more. You can go more. It never stops. There is interesting thing here. There is a very interesting infinity in this little space also. Mathematics is really comes with these kinds of surprise sometimes. That's why you may ask, sir, 1,3, okay, 1,3, this, although we know that this is absolute max, but since it is not included, let's write the point before this point and after this point. But we do not know that point also, because we technically we can imagine that, but we cannot write that value. Because that point will be like infinite. That point, if you start writing, that point will take you forever to write. This is another conundrum in mathematics, another very infinite thing within the numbers. Just because between 1 and 2 or 0 and 1 there are infinity number of numbers. Although we do not think about that in our daily life, between 1 and 2 there are infinity number of numbers: 1.1, 1.1, 1.11, 1.11, 1.1111, 1.1111, 1.11111111. Then 1.2 comes, 1.12 comes. Oh my god, tons and tons and tons of number between them, decimal number. That's why we cannot finish them. So there's the problem with this. This is the practice. We will do this in the class. We'll try to do, or you can actually finish them if you want, or then you can match it with the book. Book answer also given. These are the practice homeworks. You can do these practice homeworks in your free time. From the page number 77 to 78, these are from our PDF book. This is the practice homework review. If you have done the practice homework from our lesson 11, you can just match your answer from this figure. Suppose this is 25 number, x-intercept is minus pi, 0 and pi. See, minus pi, 0 and pi, they are the x-intercept. Y-intercept is only 0. Domain is from minus pi to pi, that means from here to here. Range is from here to here, from minus 1 to 1, that is the range. Then from here to here, this is decreasing. From minus pi to minus pi by 2, it is decreasing. Then from here to here, it is increasing, then again decreasing. This is increasing, decreasing, and this graph is origin symmetry. So this is odd function. Origin symmetry means odd function. If y symmetry, it is even function. Suppose if there is a question like this question is y symmetry, so it will be even function. This is origin symmetry, so odd function. And if some graph is x symmetry, it is not function. All right, you can just check your answer if they are doing good. If you have finished them, then you can check it. I think that's the end of our today's lesson video. So thank you all. Thank you very much. Have a good day and see you all in the class. Bye bye.